Hello everyone, this is Art of Attack in Chess and I am back with a new video. In this video, as you can see from the title says Boden's Mate. Now you must be wondering what is Boden's Mate. Let me just tell you what it is. You can see this position here. Here, the black king is sort of trapped, right? And here, this bishop is doing a great job covering the main important squares. Now we have to just ensure that the black king doesn't run away because currently he has an fleeing square that is b7. So the question arises, how do we stop him? And then the answer also arises. Yes, bishop a6 check and mate. Well, not bishop g5, really sorry. Bishop a6 check and mate. So this is Boden's mate. Just understand the pattern and keep it in mind. So here I'm gonna show you a few games demonstrating Boden's mate. Let me just share the first game. So this is the game. So here, let us see this game. This game is between Paul Morphy versus James Thompson. New York, USA 1859. So you can guess it that this game is like 150 or 250 years old. Let us start off with the game. But before that, can you see something odd in the starting position? Yes, you got it right. The knight on b1 is missing. And you must be wondering, why is it like that? Have you made an error in setting up the position? No, guys. Morphy played this game. It was a friendly match. James Thompson was one of his chess friends, and he played this in a friendly game. James Thompson was also a good player of that time. And in this game, Morphy decided to play a whole piece down. Yes, you heard it right, a whole piece down. So let us go through the game. The game started with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. Here if you play c3, it transposes into a Gruco piano kind of. But here Morphy chose b4. That is known as the Evans gambit. Bishop into b4, c3, bishop a5, castle. This is the main theory. Bishop b6, d4, d6, d cross e5, knight cross e5, knight cross e5, d cross e5, bishop f7 check, king e7, queen b3. Now here still black is a piece up. Let us continue through the game. Knight f6, bishop a3 check. And just like in this position, suddenly the piece is not mattering so much. His king is so exposed. Like if the c pawn wouldn't have been there, it was already a check and mate in 2 moves. So because of the lifesaver c pawn, the game goes on. But still, somehow James loses the game. So let us go through the game and let us spot the mistake. So he played c5, rook a d1 activating the piece, queen c7, f4. Morphy is just like, okay, you are giving me I'm gonna give you all my pieces, just take them. I just need attack. So he played rook f8. Now let us examine why didn't he play ef4. Main threat here will come e5. Now you can't take queen into e5 because of rook f1. Now knight e4 looks like an only option, and I'll just play something like bishop d5, queen c2, queen c4, everything looks good. And here suddenly white has managed to get a good position. So that's why ef4 is not worth it. So James decided to go for rook f8, just attacking the bishop. Morphy chose bishop c4. He played rook d8, rook d1, bishop d7. Why rook d1? Because he wanted to avoid the trade of many pieces. There is a rule in chess. If you are attacking, never exchange pieces. Even if you are a piece down, never exchange pieces. If you are a piece down, exchange pawns, not pieces. So here, that's why following the rule, rook d1 was played. Bishop d7 and now bishop c1. Morphy notices that this bishop is just sitting like a dumb pawn. It is not doing anything. The c5 pawn is restricting this bishop to do anything. It has no scope here. So Morphy decides to bring the bishop into the game. And in the future of the game will last only 9 more moves. And you will later see that this move helped to bring the mate. Let us continue with the game. Rook f8, f cross e5, queen cross e5, bishop f4, queen h5, rook d1, king d8. Now that is a clean cut blunder, just giving away our position like that. Instead, something like rook a d8 should have been tried, but rook a d8 is also not worth that. Knight e4 should have been tried here. He is also stopping this check. With this, white was sneakily planning something like that and that. So knight e4 should have been played, stopping e5 and bishop d6. And with this, black has a good position. But here, black blundered king d8. As you all know, the move should be e5 here because next move we should always threat e6 kind of moves. Queen b5, even queen b5 works because this bishop is pinned. So knight e8, again a blunder. Well, you count it as an only move. Queen a4, queen g4, e6, knight f6. And now guys, can you find the mate in 3 sequence? I'll give you 5 seconds. If you need more time, just pause the video. Okay guys, the move here that must be played is rook d7 check. Now you will say, okay, we calculated knight d7 because in knight d7 this mate is coming. In king e8, let us say king e8, rook c7, rook f7 and all that kind of mates are coming. And in king c8, we weren't able to calculate. Some of you may be able to calculate that. Hats off to you guys, because seeing this pattern for the first time and in a game of a legend to find the move, if you know the pattern, it must be easy for you. But if you don't know, it must be quite difficult. So here, the move you should look out. Let's see what's the pattern of Boden's mate. The king in the last position. Do you remember? The king was trapped from all sides. But in this position, the problem is coming that the bishop can't give a check because of this pawn is defending it. So here the tactic of decoy also applies. And therefore the move is queen c6 check. Now suddenly this king can't move anywhere. Bishop c7 is a pointless move. And bc6 means bishop a6 mate. Beautiful game played by Paul Morphy. Even with a piece down, he won the game. Let's see the next game. Now this game is quite famous one and many of you I think must have seen it. But let us see the game. It was between Alexander Alekhine the legend and Vasek. Let us start the game. e4, e6, d4, d5, the French defense. Knight c3, the Vinover variation. Bishop b4, bishop d3. Here the main line goes with e5, then c5, a3, bishop c3, bc3, and these all are lines. Queen c7 is a line here, queen a5 is a line here, knight e7 is a line here. Many moves are possible. But in this game we see unusual, like it is still a theory but an uncommon theory. Bishop d3 by Alexander. Now bishop into c3 check, b into c3, h6, bishop a3, and after seeing the last example, you guys must be seeing the pattern here. The king is getting trapped. The king is getting trapped from all sides. Just this square is left, and how to gain control of that square. Knight d7 was played, and suddenly the king is now trapped completely. And now the only thing white must do that thing is to achieve the goal. So he played queen e2, a clever move. You will see why it is a clever move. d4, bishop e4, knight gf6, bishop d3, b6. b6 looks like a very natural move just to develop this bishop here. Castle. I mean, you can't castle here, but after playing c5, just castling. Yes? No. Actually, here the brilliancy of the brilliancy of Alexander Alekhine starts. And you won't believe this game is just of 11 moves. So guys, can you find the winning move for Alexander? If you guys played bishop g6 immediately, it's wrong. We have to eliminate this pawn, and in the last diagram the king was on this side, so we had to play queen c6 check to decoy this pawn here, which was present in the last game. But here the pawn is present here, and we have to mate him from here, and our queen is perfectly aligned there. Queen e6 check, boom, f e6, and bishop d6 with another beautiful mate. Now let us see the next game. The next game is between Edward Lasker and Fritz England. In this game, Edward Lasker is playing as white and Fritz England is playing as black. Let us see how the Boden's mate pattern comes. e4, e5, nf3, nc6, nc3, nf6. This is the 4 knights opening. Bishop b5, knight d4, knight e5, queen e7, knight f3, knight e4, castle, knight c3, d cross c3, knight f3 check, queen f3. Now, according to me in this position, white has a dynamic advantage. His development is so good. And just black, these both bishops are like just off the board. These two rooks are inside. This queen is just like aligned here to the king. Anytime a discovery a pin can come. So I played queen c5, rook e1 check, bishop e7, bishop d3, d5, bishop e3, queen d6, bishop f4, queen f6, queen into d5. Here you can take queen into f4, but here bishop b5 check will be allowed because and now king f8 means to a mate, and this not happened in the actual game. In the game he played c6 here immediately, so he had to retreat queen e4, bishop e6, rook e3, bishop c5, Bishop e5 can't take the rook because of because of the hanging queen. So queen h6, rook g3, bishop f8, rook d1, long castle. A double question mark move. Like still black could have played here, but the question arises what could he play? Rook g8 looks like an only move. Other moves f6 and all that are just failing because in f6 this bishop is just hanging, completely hanging. I'll just play bishop f4 and win this bishop. But castle is a straight away blunder. Why? This you should do, guys, without pausing the video. Okay. If you played queen c6 check, hats off to you. bc6, bishop e6. In this puzzle, did you notice that here this square was not occupied? All these squares were occupied except this. But here in queen c6, bc6, ba6 check, this rook got opened and this square became covered. Now guys, a point to note. Always keep that in mind without keeping that in mind, never do a Boden's Mate. The point is, see that all the squares when you attempt for the Boden Mate are covered around the king. Like here, all the squares are covered. Now, if this rook had not been here or it would have been here, then suddenly white was lost because he had an escape square king d7. So always keep that in mind, guys. Important point. Now, the last game, and after whom the Boden's mate was named, Samuel Standage Boden. In this game, the Boden's mate appeared for the first time on board. Let us see how the game went. e4, e5, Samuel was black, knight f3, d6, the full door defense, c3, f5, bishop c4, knight f6, d4, fe4, de5, ef3, ef6, queen f6, gf3, knight c6, f4, bishop d7, bishop e3, long castle, knight d2, rook e8, queen f3, bishop f5, long castle. And guys, do you see that pattern arising? The king is covered from everywhere. All we have to do is open up this bishop. The bishop, bring the queen to c3 and just boom, a mate. So for that, he played d5. Here, the computer already says that black is clearly winning. In just 13 moves, can you imagine that in just 13 moves, black is clearly winning? So the opponent didn't see the threat and played bishop d5, and here the Boden's mate, queen c3 check, bc3, and bishop a3 check and mate. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel Art of Attacking Chess. Thank you.